Welcome back to Impact Math with Miss Taylor. Alrighty, we have a rate problem, okay? This is for the Asvab, so we're gonna work on some rates and ratios. So it says a copier can make 150 copies per minute. At this rate, how many minutes would it take to make 4,500 copies? So here, when it says 150 copies per minute, that's our first fraction, okay? So we're doing 150 copies per, so divide by a minute. So we're gonna put 1 minute. Now it's asking how many minutes. Well, I don't know how many minutes. So when you don't know something, you have to put an X. We're putting the X on the bottom because we chose to put the per minute on the bottom. So the units have to line up. And then since we put 150 copies, we're gonna put 4,500 copies on top. And now what we can do is just cross multiply. Okay, so we're gonna cross multiply. 150 times X is 150X equal to, and then we're gonna cross multiply here. 1 times 4,500 is just 4,500. To get X by itself, you have to do the opposite of multiplication. So whenever a number is attached to a variable, they are timesing each other. So now we're gonna divide by 150 and divide by 150 here. Okay, so X equals, well, we can cancel out these zeros. And then what we're looking at is how many 15s does it take to get to 45? Well, look at your options. It's gonna take 3. So it's going to be 30. C is our answer. But let's do it out for the people that cannot see it like that. So we would do 15 goes into 45 3 times, and that will be 45. And then drop down the 0. 15 that can't go into 0, so you put a 0. And that's why we get 30. Alrighty, let's jump on to the next. Number 2, a car is moving at 60 miles per hour. At this rate, how many hours will it take for the car to travel 420 miles? Again, this is that trickery, right? Per hour. So we're gonna do, our first fraction is 60 over 1 hour, okay? We're gonna set that equal to. Now it's asking, the question is asking how many hours? Well, we don't know. But since I put the hours units on the bottom, I'm going to put my X on the bottom. And then I'm going to put my 420 on top, right across from the 60 miles that I put. So miles, hour, hour. And then we're going to cross multiply and solve. So 60 times X is 60X equal to, and then 1 times 420 is just 420. And whenever you have a number attached to a variable, that's multiplying. So you have to undo it with division. So we're going to divide both sides by 60. And we get X equals, cancel out these zeros. So really, let's look at our answers. 42 divided by 6. Better yet, 6 times what gives us 42? C is our answer. 7 is our answer. Alrighty, let's go to the next. So we have a subway car, passes 3 stations every 10 minutes. At this rate, how many stations will it pass in 1 hour? Okay, so we have 3 stations per every 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put this in minutes down there. How many stations? Well, I put the 3 stations up top, so I'm going to have to put the X up top here because I don't know how many stations. Will it pass in 1 hour? This is where they try to trip you up. See, they gave us the units in minutes. So since we started in minutes, we must come over here and put it in minutes. We cannot just put 1 hour because we have to have the same units. Stations, minutes. So what you have to understand is how many minutes are in an hour. And if you say 60, right on. So now we're gonna cross multiply. So 10 times X gives us 10X. And we can do 3 times 60 is 180. And then how do we get x by itself? Well, we're going to divide both sides by 10 and cancel out this 0. So x equals, if you're saying B, wonderful. If you're not, it's okay. Just learn from your mistakes, see where you went wrong. And it's better to make mistakes now than on the test when you're taking it, right? So let's learn from the mistakes. Okay, number 4. On a certain map, 3/4 inch represents 1 mile. What distance in miles is represented by 1 3/4 inches? Okay, so our first setup is going to be 3/4 over, so 3/4 an inch represents 1 mile. So I'm going to put my 1 mile at the bottom, okay? And this is inch. Now I have to put inches up here. So they gave me 1 3/4 inch. And it's asking what distance in miles. Well, I don't know, so we put an X. So now we're going to cross multiply. So 3/4 times X is going to be 3/4 X equals. Now we're going to do 1 times this mixed number, but we want to change this mixed number into an improper. And how we do that is we do 4 times 1 and we add the numerator. So we times and add, and we always keep it over the same denominator, which is 4. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is going to be 7/4. Okay, so we're going to get this 7/4. So now if you have learned to multiply by the reciprocal, okay, what we can do is we can multiply both sides by the flip of this, 4/3 and 4/3. This cancels out because it becomes 12/12, which just is 1. So that's why we leave X here. And then these 4s can cancel out there. And so we end up with 7/3. Okay. Now all of our answers are in mixed numbers. But the good thing is there's only one of these mixed numbers that has a denominator of 3. So it's going to be B, but I'll show you. So we're going to do 3 into 7. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Drop down the 1. And then so they have a remainder of 1 and you put it over what you divided by, which is the 3. And that's how you get 2 1/3. All righty, let's go to 5. In the freshman class, the ratio, okay, remember when you hear that word ratio, thinking of a fraction, okay? So I'm going to set up something like this. The ratio of in-state students, okay, to out-state students is 15:2. So 15:2, and I'm doing in-state on top. If there are 750 in-state students, so 750 is going on top because I put the in-state on top, which was the 15. How many out-of-state students are there? Well, we don't know, so we put an X. So now we're going to cross multiply. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do 15x equals, now we're not going to waste our time by doing 2 times 750. We're just going to leave it as 2 times 750. And then we want x by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 15. So we're going to do x equals, so I'm trying to figure out how many 15s can fit into 75. So if we go here, 15 into 750, let's see. So 15 can go into 75. I want to say 4, 6, maybe 4, 5, right? So 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2, and then 5 times 1 plus 2 is 75. And then we'll drop down to 0. So we can cancel this out and just change this to a 50. And then 2 times 50 is going to be 100. So A is our answer. Alrighty, I hope this lesson has helped you. And be blessed. And I most definitely will catch you on the next one. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, and hanging with Miss Taylor. Alrighty, bye.